Hey guys, a few weeks ago I came across this Leatherman that a friend of mine sold me, and it had a big issue. The pliers were basically stuck together, not because of rust, but because of a typical Leatherman problem. Basically the two components of the plier heads are brought or pinned a bit too close together, a bit too tight, and they don't open. This problem can also originate from squeezing something a bit too hard with the plier heads. So let's say you got a piece of wood or some piece of metal and you grab it and squeeze it really hard with all your might if you're a strong man, and you can cause the plier heads to come together and get stuck. There are multiple ways to address this problem. I've tested a lot of them, and coming across this Leatherman rebar that was basically new but suffered from the too tight plier head problem, I thought I was going to test two methods that I didn't use in the past. Given that those plier heads were really stuck, and I mean really stuck together, you basically couldn't open them normally. It would just disengage the handles, so you had to force them open with some piece of metal or something. And I decided to try two methods that I thought might cause some issues to the tool. So this was basically a sacrificial tool, and I thought I would test those. The two methods I tested were hitting the central pin of the plier head with some sort of striking tool and pin implement. So you can grab some sort of maybe a brass rod or metal bolt like this and place it between, place the plier heads between your striking tool and an anvil. Get this on the plier head, on the central part of the plier head, on the pin, and strike it with a hammer. There are issues with this method. You can get confused on which side of the plier head you strike. You might actually make the pliers even tighter, which is very hard to gauge, especially in a case like this, when the pliers are really stuck together. It's hard to manipulate them and try to gauge if they are becoming tighter or looser. Ideally, you would want to strike the moving part of the pin. So I don't know if you see that, but the whole pin here is rotating with the plier head. You can see the strike marks on the pin, which are very visible here, and you can see they are moving with the handle. So this would be the part you would want to strike. The other side would make the pliers tighter. It's something I verified in person. If you want to make them looser, you just strike on the part that moves with the handle. The second method I tested was simply to get some sort of metal rod, could also be wood actually, although you would risk destroying the wood, but you just get some sort of metal rod, for instance, grab it with the plier head and twist the pliers from side to side like this. The idea being to separate, to create some sort of separating force and loosen the two parts of the plier head. So you grab the metal implement like this and you just squeeze it like that, and that method was the one that worked on this model. The striking method didn't work. It works for tightening the pliers, but it didn't work for loosening it up. In this case, maybe it works on less extreme cases, but in this case it didn't work at loosening the plier heads. This method, the method of twisting from side to side, worked like a charm, but I had to do it from side to side like this, and then from the other side and twist it again, and like this, and from the other side, but it worked. These pliers are now quite loose, as loose as I like them. I don't want my Leatherman to just flop around like that. I like to have some control when I'm manipulating some small objects. I don't want the plier heads to just fall open. So I like this state like this. I'm sure I could get it a bit looser if I wanted to, but that's not my goal. They are now very functional, and trust me when I say at the beginning they could not be moved. This is my experience from these two methods, the striking the pin method and the twisting from side to side method. I like the twisting from side to side because it's a bit more simple. It could be done on just a rock or some branch in the field, and it worked for a very stuck pair of pliers. So I like this method. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.